The issues discussed on the Roll Call Room podcast do not reflect the opinions of any specific agency and are the views of the host or guest only. Any persons discussed may be fictional for comedic purposes. This podcast is rated explicit and listener discretion is advised.
Self-discipline is everything. And if you don't have it, I don't look at you right because I know you're capable of more. It's not discipline so much for me. It's all on you. It's all on you. The self part is what's big. Where you're going to fail and you're going to be in your head, you're going to be saying, I'm not good enough. And it's how you get through that. It's how you get through that on a daily basis when that thing is saying, man, I'm 43, I've done so much. You start to become civilized. The refrigerator gets full. You start making money and you start, I'm not getting cold anymore. I'm retired. At 40, people shouldn't be playing basketball or football or being in, you start to believe this shit. And it becomes in your fucking mind like there's people who are retiring, you know, at 40 something years old or 30 something years old. At 43, I'm still putting 100-mile weeks, still doing thousands of pull-ups, thousands of push-ups. Because I'm not allowing myself to become civilized. The worst thing that can happen to a man is become civilized. You lose that fucking fight. You lose that, why the fuck am I doing this shit? I'm good. You ain't good, man. You ain't never fucking arrived. And that's just my mentality. You may have more, but you never fucking arrive. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. Period. We have two voices in our mind. And boy, I know they're fucking true. I've heard them. I hear them now. And they're real. It's that one voice. That voice I used to love to fucking hear. We love to hear. It's that soft motherfucker. That soft motherfucking voice that says sleep the fuck in. It's okay. It's that cuddling voice. You want to be hugged and nurtured and all that shit. That says it's going to be okay. Well, there's another motherfucking voice that wakes you up in the middle of the night. It's that demon fucking voice that whispers in your fucking ear that says, get up, motherfucker. You're not fucking good enough. You gotta work fucking harder. You haven't put enough time in it. It's that voice you want to run away from. It's that voice you don't want to fucking hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to fucking listen to.
And every foot strike that hits the pavement, that's how I feed myself. Motherfuckers look for inspiration. Inspiration's found in every footstep you take. Every grasp of that fucking iron bar. All that shit, all the miles in the pool. Inspiration's found in suffering. In life, a lot of us believe that we're working much harder than we actually are. We think if we fucking got up early for 4 days, we've earned something. You gotta drop your entitled mindset. It's dead weight. We believe we work harder than we actually have. Trust me, most of us haven't. The one thing in life you gotta realize is this. Learn to help yourself. Don't count on other people to help you. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. Stay hard.
We're back Hello, welcome to the Roll Call Room podcast, the podcast that woke an entire profession and continues to be a pain in the ass to commanders. And now, here's your hosts, Logan, Lauren, my Uncle Mike, and my mom and dad, Nick and Nicole. Fuck you, commanders.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is another episode of the Roll Call Room podcast. Mike, how are you? It's a
What's
beautiful
up?
Friday at sometime in the morning.
It's Friday?
Yeah, well, when you're retired, it doesn't matter.
Well, what's the matter, Pumpkin? You got a little sniffles?
I am severely under the weather.
Severely?
Severely. I think I got the variant that hasn't been named yet. Like, what are we up to now? Like, I'm just going to name it myself. Like,
I don't know. What is it?
Ding Dong variant?
Yeah, what's the new one?
Omnicorp?
Omnicorp. Lisa said I have it for years because the symptoms are tired all
Bitchiness?
the time. Bitchiness. Yeah. That's me. Fuck it.
Irritability.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the other thing is that, like, I think COVID and, like, you know, like quarantining, I think in law enforcement, we've been practicing that off duty forever, as long as you've been a cop. Like,
yeah.
Don't go out. Don't interact with people. Don't talk to strangers. Don't go to busy restaurants. I mean, I've been doing that since day one. Like,
yeah.
I think that's just called I don't like to be around people.
I don't want to cheers, pal.
We decided to drink beer while we do this episode.
Responsibly.
Responsibly. I'm not going anywhere. I bought a 24 case of Budweiser. Yes, I like Budweiser. And it's the Christmas, like, limited edition cans, and there's 4 different cans, and there's supposed to be a Dalmatian on one of the cans, and that's my service dog. And every fucking can in there, except I pulled out 9 of them before we started this episode, and every single one of them has a fucking Saint Bernard on it. So Budweiser, go fuck yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got like 4 different designs on there. One of them is the Clydesdale. You know, the Clydesdale.
The horses, yeah.
Yeah. So I have to say, I got an email from Jeff after we taped the last episode. And he's in the car with his girlfriend. And remember we were making jokes about equestrian therapy. It was horses, man.
It was horses.
It was horses.
It's fucking great.
So he wrote. He sent me a couple of articles too, which is fucking hilarious. Because he was like, I just didn't want you to think that I was bullshitting, but for real. You know,
he sent me that email. I was fucking cracking up.
Yeah. Jeff, that made me laugh. I actually read that when I was on the train on my way into work. And he sent me an email. I want to try and read it. Yeah, here he goes. He goes, holy fuck, it's his fiance. My fiance Laura and I were sitting here listening to the latest podcast and heard you read my message on there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Laura is a certified animal therapist and specializes in equine therapy, using horses to help those struggling with PTSD. I think that's awesome, but I just don't know how you talk about that at a party. You know, like my name is Jeff. This is my fiance, and she works with horses. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's how you have to say it.
You know, you fuckers that are listening to this, you know for a fact your mind is automatically going to go in that direction. So don't act innocent.
Don't fuck around.
Kind of like dog therapy, but with bigger animals. It's true. I've heard about this. I've heard about equestrian farms, like retreats that a couple of organizations have for law enforcement, where you go to these farms, kind of like city slickers, but you don't like hurdle cattle. you just spend time with the horses in a professional manner. I was listening to your podcast while sitting at a crime scene, and after finishing Mental Barricade, had to write something. Not sure why the fuck spell check. He had the spell check issue. Your books, your podcast are amazing. Thank you for bringing this to the forefront. I've asked my department to let me speak to our rookies to push from them day one on how to survive the next 30 years of their life. I'm sure when rookies get stuck in the same car as me after 12 hours, they get out thinking, what the fuck did I sign up for? And Jeff, that's not just you, that's everybody. Good for you that you're leaving a legacy when you're ready to leave.
I like how he writes. He really thought that I was going to crash my bike over the bridge. You said some.
No, that was the other email. So I didn't know that the other email that I read was from this kid. And when I say kid, he's still in high school, and he
oh, that's right.
He asked for a shout out for his dad. He didn't tell me that like he was a teenager.
That's right. I'm sorry, I get my emails all.
No, I know. We get a lot of them, so it's hard to like decipher between the two. But that one was pretty cool too, because the dad emailed, and he was blown away that his son reached out, and that we even titled the last episode after him, which was pretty cool. A lot going on.
But how do you get the horses in the hospital? That's what I want to know. Should we start making horse jokes now?
I think she probably has like ponies. Like she starts out.
Oh, like those little midget ponies. Well,
the scary looking one.
Are they midget ponies? Can we say midget?
No, they're. I think they're called little. My Little Ponies or
okay,
vertically challenged ponies or something.
I got a good horse story if you want to hear it.
Here we go. Go ahead.
All right, so we're doing. You know how New York City has all these parades.
Yep.
So, and we get detailed out, and we got other commands, and so we work with everybody.
My favorite parade is the murder parade.
Please
continue. Please continue.
So we're doing the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Puerto Rican Day Parade is awesome.
That's probably one of the best parades in New York City.
It's the Spanish food is flowing. The Puerto Rican women are just gorgeous.
Yep.
So we got a cake detail where we're inside the park. And we're just making sure nobody comes in the park. So we're all just hanging out. And we're like, oh, wow, look at that chick. Oh, wow. And now here comes mounted. So mounted police are coming.
They always get all the fucking attention.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, look at that chick over there. Man, what a body on her. So this motherfucker that I'm working with, I'm like, wow, look at that one. This guy, Billy, goes, whoa, look at the size of the cock on that horse.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going,
oh, my God.
I was like, what the fuck did you just, the cock on that horse. I'm like, bro. And I just walked away from him. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
A lot, because we work together. That's what it would be like.
Oh God, if we work together, forget it. God,
I'd be like, hey, you want to go milk that horse?
I got nipples, Nick. You want to milk me?
So much has happened. We've been pretty consistent about putting episodes out. Yesterday, the Juicy Smollett verdict came out. I love when Dave Chappelle. Store that. I want to talk about Dave Chappelle in a bit. I love when Dave Chappelle calls him Juicy, because his name doesn't spell Jesse, but he's found guilty 5 out of 6 charges. And the reason why the jury didn't find him guilty of the 6th and final one, I just read it this morning, which is really goofy, was something to do with a mask. The aggravated assault needed to have a mask involved. So the aggregate needed to be a mask. This is just so stupid.
It's fucking ridiculous.
He's going to appeal it, which is just absolutely insane. Just own up to your fucking.
Just you did what you did. Just own up to it.
Just admit it, man. I mean, the evidence is the evidence.
What's really going to happen to him?
Man.
What's really going to happen to him?
Well, he's got 5 felonies that he's convicted of now. So
in New York City, you go to fucking trial and you fucking.
What is up with the guy that burns down the fucking Christmas tree in front of Fox?
Yo, they let him
he's
go.
He's bailed out.
No bail.
Within hours, no bail. What has happened to that city?
I love the meme. It was a picture of the fucking tree burning, and it says, "This is the year New York. This sums up New York City.
This is how we're going to cap off the year."
Yeah,
this is pretty much like you really got to be a special piece of shit to burn that down.
But he was total fucking EDP. Oh, I'm sorry.
He said that he was
emotionally disturbed person.
But he said he was thinking about it all day. Like he didn't just just think of it and go, "Oh, I'm going to go like that." He actually planned it all day.
Yeah.
So let a guy like that out without going to have a 72-hour psych.
He burnt that fucker to the ground. But just so you know, my wife posted a picture. It's back up.
Did you see how quick they did that shit? It was
back up, and the cop car, right in front of it.
Reactive policing. Let's put a car here.
Yeah,
because that'll stop it.
Yes, that will.
So, I love the NYPD. We were talking last episode about TikTok, and I really try not to use TikTok. I mostly use it to promote the coffee and the books and stuff like that. But because you had mentioned it, I've been watching a lot of videos. And the thing that troubles me the most about TikTok is the amount of law enforcement agencies that fall into this trap, this goading trap of people that are trying to get a rise out of officers, like going to public spaces and officers not knowing what the law is as far as public access, trespassing people. It's embarrassing because when I watch these videos as a former sergeant, it makes me cringe because although the person who's recording is a complete fucking total dick and is obviously trying to goat the officers, we as a profession seem to always fall into it. And it makes me cringe because the person who's filming it walks them along and gives them several outs to back out of it. And these videos make me cringe because if it's at a public place, like a public building, and you are asking them to leave, you have to have a legitimate legal reason to ask them to leave a public area. They have to be causing a disturbance or being disorderly or something of that effect. And it amazes me how many officers still don't understand the difference between private and public property. And TikTok, that's my takeaway. Aside from the fucking people dancing in uniform, which absolutely enrages me because it cheapens our profession.
I can't stand the fucking people coming up. No reason at all. There's a group of cops and motherfucker comes up. What's your name and shield? What's your name and shield? What's your name and shield? Like, all right, New York City now, if we don't give our name and shield, they can sue us personally. Like,
that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Listen, if I interact with you and you don't like the service that I performed, take my name, take my shield. I don't care. But just to come up and fucking you have to give me your name and shield. Fuck you. Like, I'm glad I retired.
But the thing about it is it's all part of the game now, which is that if you don't comply with that, you're going to be in a trick bag.
Yeah.
And where some of these officers go wrong is that you're being filmed. So contempt of cop, you need to keep that under control. But knowing what you legally can do to somebody and what you can't do to somebody is, it's astounding. And it's concerning because I'm in the middle of, I partnered up with a couple of different people to put out a couple of different training manuals for new officers. One is called The Art of the Subject Stop. One is called the Traffic Stop, and one is called Domestic Violence Calls. And the reason why I'm doing this, and I teamed up with a whole bunch of other officers from around the United States, is because we have babies training babies. Mm-hmm. We have 2-year officers, 3-year officers training brand new people to come in, and they're training them the wrong way. And I know when I came up, and the internet was still, obviously was around, but there's not really a resource for you to go to and be like, Terry versus Ohio. I know that's a big case. That's basically one of our major cases in law enforcement. But what does it really mean? Can you dumbify it for me in plain New York City public education lingo?
Well, that's the problem. You have to dumb it down.
You really do, because Terry can be confused with many different things. And if you're not careful and you can't articulate, that's the major word. If you can't articulate, it doesn't matter what case law that you're following. Let's take Kyle Rittenhouse, and we talked about him extensively in the last couple of episodes. But yes, he was coached by his attorneys before he took the stand. But again, we have to remember that he's 18 years old, and his articulation for self-defense was probably better than some 25, 30-year officers that I've worked with, where they can't articulate a disorderly conduct, or they can't articulate a DUI or something like that. It's all in articulation. And that kid, I've listened to him. He's been on a numerous amounts of podcasts lately.
I heard the last one. He's like, "Fuck you, LeBron."
The one that made me die laughing, I listened to this on the train yesterday on my way home. And one of the podcasters turned around and was like, everybody's going to be gunning for your, mid-20-year-old females are going to be gunning for your virginity. Yes. And he turns around and he goes, "Too late." And
all these patriotic moms.
Yeah, what a fucking baller, bro. What a baller. He called, I know we're veering off. You know what he called the heavier set prosecutor? He calls him Lunchbox. Lunchbox, because the other prosecutor, the terrible one, carries him around everywhere he goes like a lunchbox.
Yo, let me tell you, that kid's going to get paid. And he deserves it.
Yeah, I think just CNN alone, which is in absolute turmoil right now. Chris Cuomo, what a fucking dummy.
What about Fredo?
Fredo, his brother's in the middle of an investigation. The district attorney announces.
What did he do? I mean, like I like the meme of both of them working at Subway.
Oh, I posted that, right? I posted another meme where it's like it's the older Cuomo calling up his mom and saying, "Yeah, make 2 beds. Chris lost his job too," which is fucking hilarious. But CNN found out that not only was Chris helping his brother, but he was using resources that CNN, he was using CNN resources. And then right after that scandal with CNN, we find out that during the Jussie Smollett trial, Don Lemon was giving information to Jussie about the Chicago Police Department's investigation. Like, what the fuck is going on over at CNN? I mean, it's like the communist network. It just astounds me. It really astounds me. And I know we try and be middle of the road here, but
it's so hard. It's so hard.
You know what? It really is. When you have a president who obviously has no idea what the fuck is going on, I don't know if you saw the video.
Which one? Which video?
Did you see the video of him at Bob Dole's funeral at the wake at the Tundra at the Capitol? So the vice president and her husband are already standing there, and he comes walking in and walks past her, doesn't even look at her, stands next to her with the first lady. He leans into the first lady's ear and whispers and switches they switch. He didn't even want to fucking stand next to her, dude.
Well, he was
And
too busy looking at the squirrels, or fucking maybe saw a Skittle on the floor or something.
Or he might have shit his pants again. Like he leaned in and he was like, I think it went through both the pens. It was a shart.
I did it
It was
again.
a shart.
Get another suit.
I really hope that he runs. I hope he runs again.
There's
really
no
do.
way. No
Yeah,
fucking way.
I hope so.
There's no fucking way.
I'm telling you, I think he is.
There's no way
See?
that. There's no. I like his fucking doing his conference, his video conference with Putin.
That's sad.
He's basically like this. Oh,
It just
there we go, motherfucker.
it just shows weakness, man.
you shut the fucking country down,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to do video calls. School was virtual. You had all these conferences, and motherfucker, you can't fucking figure out now how to use the fucking video.
It's it's sad because it's putting this country back quite a bit. I mean,
And then he's acting like a fucking tough guy. I don't mean to cut you off, but he's acting like a fucking tough guy because he's like, I told Putin that, the sanctions against him are going to be nothing that he's seen before. Like, motherfucker, as soon as you became office, he fucking took everything fucking and threw it out the window because of your fucking stupid ass.
He has no fear. They have no fear. No country has any fear, which is
They had fear when somebody was in power.
Well, he's going to run again, so
But-
we'll see. We'll see how that turns out.
Well, we're not political.
No. We try and stay middle of the ground. I mean,
Johnny
it's hard.
Cupcakes. I like your shirt.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Johnny Cupcakes.
Johnny Cupcakes is one of my favorite clothing companies. I really like them. They make some funny shit.
They're not a sponsor. I just like his fucking. I like
Not
his
a
shirt.
sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
I gotta reach out to Ferocious Beard. That's the other thing I need to do. I need some beard stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting all fucking.
Need some beard stuff, bro.
My shit's getting long.
I know. You look like a criminal.
I'm going for like the homeless look.
Achieved.
I go into stores. Oh, this is nothing. I go into stores. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm going for the homeless look.
Yeah, I think. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm back. I'm hearing digging while we're doing this, and I walk over.
You should have left the recording. Everybody should have heard.
No,
God
trust
damn
me.
it!
No, you don't. You don't want to hear that. Trust me.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'd have the ASPCA at my fucking house. But so yeah. So the other thing is we got that other trial going on. What's the one? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. This is from Kim Potter. That's the one where they started they were doing a traffic stop, and she was field training an officer, and the recruit had him out of the car, was starting to handcuff him. He jumps in the car, tries to flee, and she yells out, "Taser, taser, taser," and she shoots one time with her Glock in his chest, killing him. But before killing him, he drives down the road and unfortunately hits an old couple in a car, and then slams into some sort of telephone pole or something. So she's facing first-degree manslaughter and I think second-degree felony manslaughter. So both of them are felonies.
And on a side note, this is why we got into the TikTok conversation.
Was it?
Yeah, because there was a guy on TikTok who was fucking criticizing that cop. He was in full uniform and he was sitting at his little desk with his computer.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I don't know how hard it is to understand. And he took his gun out and he goes, "This is a gun." And then he took or he did something where he took the taser out and he goes, "This is a taser. There's no comparison." Like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Like, listen,
Well,
the incident was absolutely horrible.
mhm.
Absolutely horrible.
Do you think she's guilty of anything criminally?
I don't know. Like, it's just she thought she had a taser in. She thought she had a taser in her hand.
I get that, but I
think she's responsible. I think she's definitely responsible.
I think she's guilty of misdemeanor manslaughter, not felony. I don't know what.
Not a felony. I don't.
No, not a felony. But I don't know whether or not Minnesota has they have to have misdemeanor.
Like a reckless. I don't even. I don't.
Stage. It is manslaughter. I mean, it's manslaughter.
But, like, listen.
She's got one. Well, first of all, she's never going to be a police officer again. That's a definite. But she is guilty of taking a human life that she shouldn't have taken.
Absolutely. By accident?
By accident. No. I get that.
I'm saying, like, yeah. I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
I think criminal prosecution.
Supposedly, she was a real good cop.
Yeah. Well, everybody is until they kill their first person.
I guess so.
Right. Not lawfully. Because he wasn't the greatest person in the world, obviously. He had an open warrant. He chose to flee. And what got me is I've been watching the trial. Matter of fact, I was watching it before we got on. I was watching the trial like I did with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And I think the defense made a huge, huge tactical mistake in their opening argument by turning around and opening up by saying, if he had just cooperated, he'd be alive right now.
Well, isn't that with all fucking...
Yeah, but when you're trying to get your client off, who's a cop, and you're talking to 12 civilians, that's not really the way to gain their sympathy for your client.
Oh, you said that was the prosecution, you said.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was defense.
Oh,
that was the defense opening up by saying, hey, listen, shit happens.
Yeah, well,
if he had cooperated, he'd still be alive.
Right, but that is true.
It is, but I don't know what your policy was, but even deploying a taser while somebody is about to flee in a vehicle with a passenger in the car, do you think that was the safest tactical thing to do, to incapacitate him while the car is in drive?
Well, I don't think. Listen,
I think it goes to articulation, like we were talking about before.
Exactly. And listen, not going to Monday morning quarterback.
No, I don't want to. That, no,
because and we've all been in situations where it's.
Look, my first time deploying a taser, I didn't know until they downloaded my taser, and this is when tasers kind of first came out. It was an X26. They kind of first came out. Now they have a battery that will only allow you to do 5 seconds, and then it beeps real fast and cuts off. So in order for you to re-engage it, you have to release your finger and hit it again.
Mm-hmm.
When they first came out, that wasn't the case. You bought the
ticket, you got the ride.
Right. Well, my first tasing, our former Run for the Hill co-host, this guy was high on cocaine and tried to throw him through a plain glass window. And I tased him and I kept my finger on the trigger. Now, I didn't know because tunnel vision, and they talk about tunnel vision and you're like, yeah, whatever. I didn't know this till they took my taser later on and downloaded it. He took a ride for 15 seconds.
That's a good
ride. And to me, that was a fucking ride, dude. And he actually stopped breathing. Lauren, who's on our show also, he was there. And I have the audio for it. It's fucking hilarious. And that 15 seconds did not seem like 15 seconds. It was like a split second, man. But he was still able to move. And I had a good spread. Because he was, like this as I tased him. So one went in and hit the bone because they had to take him to the hospital, have it removed. And then one hit down here in the lower part of his belly. So the spread was pretty good, but he was still moving. And my thought process was, as I was backing up, what's next? So that tunnel vision, you can't Monday morning quarterback it because we weren't there. It was so fluid. And then when you look at the body cam footage, you see how she shot. And as she was shooting, her recruit's face was inches away from her barrel. That was the other part that made me cringe yesterday when I was watching the trial, was this could have been a blue on blue situation too. But she nailed him dead center.
She was dry stunning him. And that's where.
That's the other thing is they're trained, just like we were, 2 rapid shots. If it's a gun, it's pop pow, 2 shots in 3 seconds. That's our qualifying. So it proves that she thought that she had a taser because she only popped it once, and she immediately knew.
And if you look at the video, she's coming. You're gonna fire your weapon. You don't want to be fucking hand reach. You want to have some. And I know the feds. It's 7 feet, the closest.
7 feet from the Xerox machine?
Yeah. But you want a distance. You don't want anybody near your firearm. So she takes it out, taser. She's coming forward, and she lets one round go.
Yeah, my heart went out when you see the video of her instantly realizing. She tells the sergeant, she's like, I shot him. And she knows. I mean, she's like, I'm going to prison. And I mean, I feel for her. But I think it's one of those situations. It's exactly how I felt about the Chavette trial. I still believe that he was guilty of manslaughter. I don't think that he was guilty of first degree and second degree murder and manslaughter. That doesn't make any sense. So his case is going to get overturned.
But you're always worried. Are you going to be the scapegoat?
Oh, it's obvious, because if she's not found guilty at all, the things that are going to come down the pike, the riots that are going to happen, the shit that we saw in 2020 is going to come right back full force, because the other side doesn't want to understand that there's a use of force continuum. There's certain case law that allows us to do certain things, and that your actions cause a reaction. Mm-hmm. And although I don't agree with what the attorney said in opening statements, I agree with what he said in general, which is why wouldn't you just comply? You'd have gotten locked up, probably would have been out on bond. I just don't understand, man. I really don't.
It doesn't, it's.
And I'm reading her charges. It says first degree manslaughter requires prosecutors to prove Potter acted recklessly. Second degree requires them to prove culpable negligence. So I don't think that she's going to be found guilty of first degree manslaughter because she didn't act in a reckless manner. I do think that culpable negligence.
I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. This is going to change. Whatever the outcome is, this is going to change. You got put some fucking sunglasses on, dude. Shut the fuck up. You're going to get a fucking sunburn. This is going to change tasering. This is going to change maybe the style of tasers. It's pretty fucked up to have a taser that looks like a gun.
Yeah, but what do you do? I mean, what do you?
No, I know. Experts
change it into a horse's cock.
No, I know. Maybe we get some therapy.
Change the shape. I'll talk to Jeff. Maybe we can come up with a company that equestrian taser. Oh,
big horse cock.
E-taser.
E.T.
And the logo is like a horse smiling. With those big teeth, with a thunderbolt, in the mouth.
Oh God!
Equestrian tasing.
Hello. My name's
Hello.
Mr. Ed.
My name is Mr. Ed.
You know, experts saying, like, you know, that's why they cross-draw, you know,
Do you
Taser.
remember when Taser first came out and it was all black?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
all black, and the only thing that was yellow was the lettering.
Now, where did you have your Taser? Was it on your belt?
So
a lot of
it was
departments have it on their chest.
So when I first got my Taser, it was a thigh holster that was on my left thigh, and the handle was pointing out. So I would have to
Your dog's eating
cross draw.
Your dog's eating your couch.
That's okay. I'd have to cross draw across.
Okay.
No, that's wrong. The handle was back. I'd have to pull it out, and it was a weapon retention holster on my thigh. I'd have to pull it out with my left hand. So that muscle memory was, you knew your left hand was Taser, your right hand was this. When we got out of carry vest,
don't you shoot when you go to the range? Don't you do strong hand, weak side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
But when we got out of carry vest, I had it up here, and it was right draw out. And I've deployed my Taser 4 times ever. And I know there's some people that have never. I mean, it took me almost a year and 2 months, 3 months before I had my first tasering. And then once I got the taste for it, I'm just kidding. Once I got my first one, they kind of steadily came. And it was because, so many people have seen those videos where as soon as you put the laser on them, they're like, oh yeah, don't tase me, bro. And a little part of me was like, fuck. But the law is the law. I mean, if they comply, then, I can't deploy my Taser. And then it was always a fucking pain in the ass when you tase somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a pain in the ass when I became a sergeant and somebody tased somebody, especially if it was at night. You'd have to go out there, and these little confetti circles that come out of the fucking the canister. You'd have to collect at least 3 of them in the evidence bag. You'd have to take the probes and put them in biohazard tubes. It was ridiculous. The process
who took the prongs out?
We did.
Yeah, see, they'd have to go to the hospital for us.
No, we would take them out unless it was like the guy that had it embedded in his forearm. Then they had to go and actually surgically remove them. But we would just turn around, spread 1, 2, 3, and then pull. And I hated that shit. I hated it. And all of mine were very, very good tasings. It was just more of a pain in the ass than anything to tase somebody. And my old department was like a little too heavy with the internal investigations with uses of force. It got to the point where if an arrestee, you went to booking and an arrestee had, red marks around their wrists from the handcuffs, that was a use of force. You have to investigate that.
That's fucking everybody trying to fucking out his cuffs and then trying to, and then they tighten.
Not built for comfort. Not built for comfort.
Or
keep them on longer and break them in.
It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Well, I mean, soon we're going to be using, pipe cleaners.
Twisties.
Twisties. Yeah, like hefty bag twisties that come that you throw out. By the way, who fucking uses those? When you buy garbage bags, the black garbage bags, and they come with the strip of the metal twisties. Who uses those?
I don't know.
You tie your bags, right?
I tie them. My kids don't even. They just fucking throw the garbage out. They don't even tie the bag. I'm there fucking tying this shit when I'm like, these little motherfuckers.
My kids just leave shit around. It's my nightmare.
I'm just looking. I'm looking at just looking at some body footage from that stop, and
I mean, it's bad.
It's horrible. I mean, it's
bad.
It's bad. It is, but I don't put her. I don't. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
But
I think
listen, she's got to pay for it. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Listen, we didn't take this job and have get away with everything. Like, if you do something,
Yeah.
You have a consequence.
I think.
I don't think she should fucking, be a scapegoat. I just think that
Well, here's the worst part about it is even after this trial, what'll happen is she'll be brought up on federal charges if she beats these charges.
Right.
Because that's the system that we have now, which is if I don't like the determination, I'll just double jeopardy in a different way.
Right.
And that only applies to cops. You see what happened with Bill Cosby, now with Juicy. And that gets brought up. I know I read an article from BLM that Juicy had already gotten punished by the Chicago system. They're forgetting the fact that there was a special prosecutor that was hired to investigate why Michelle Obama's chief of staff had a hand in talking to the prosecutor for Chicago, and then all of a sudden the charges disappear with him paying like a fine and doing some menial community service. And that's not how the justice system works. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work where you have friends in powerful positions where you don't get prosecuted to the fullest. And I like what the special prosecutor said yesterday in the press conference after he was convicted. He said, win, lose, or draw, it didn't matter whether or not Juicy was convicted. It was that the trial was brought before the public like it's supposed to be, and 12 people determined whether or not he lied or whether or not he committed a crime.
Right.
And that never happened in the first case. It happened behind closed doors at the prosecutor's office, and they wheeled and dealed, and they didn't allow the public to be a part of that decision. And we're the ones that aren't transparent. Law enforcement is the one that's not transparent.
Right. I don't know, even with Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
The fucking guy that got his hand, was arm blown off.
Well, when you watch,
he had a DWI. He had a DWI. He wasn't testifying.
2 weeks after.
Right.
2 weeks after he got his arm blasted off. The footage for that DUI is hilarious.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah,
hilarious. But his buddy that's with him is trying to protect him like he's some sort of fucking superstar.
Yeah. But then you're gonna make a deal and get rid of your charges.
Well, and I like watching the Jesse the Rittenhouse interviews now. Yeah, no, I like watching his interviews now because he has given a lot of information about how bad the prosecutorial misconduct was in his case. There were things that people didn't know, like Dropkick Man was identified way early in the trial, yes. And the defense wanted to put him on the stand, and the prosecution basically was like, well, we're not going to give him immunity, blocking the defense from being allowed to call him. And not blocking him, but he would have just went up there and said, I plead the fifth. But the prosecution knew who he was, and they didn't turn that over. Right. There was a lot of underhanded shit that was going on and I think now knowing all of that and seeing how the judge, because I think in one of the episodes we talked about, I was like, it's very clear that the judge is biased, that he really obviously is siding with Kyle. Now I know why, is because the guy is privy to all of this evidence in chambers, and he's looking at the prosecution going like, you're a piece of shit.
Right. He was like, I'm astonished that you would ever bring this up. Or it was fucking ridiculous. Can you imagine New York City doing that in New York City? Oh my God, forget it.
Well,
I think
we're seeing it more. We're seeing it more and more and more, which is that, it's the prosecution, it's the prosecutors that are the main problem right now in the judicial system. We're seeing light sentences, if not no sentences. We're seeing no bail. Just absolutely heinous things that are. I just don't understand why you're a prosecutor at that point.
It's these fucking Democrats, and it's
hey.
It's these fucking politicians that they want to act for the people. Come on, man! Like, you break a law, you fucking do something stupid, you pay for your crime, and that's it. You burn a fucking tree down. Now, what happens if that fucking tree fell over to the building and the Fox building went on fire and killed fucking 1,000 people? Like,
doesn't matter.
No, but hey, let's let this fucking psychopath go. You know what? It's sad. It's fucking sad because this motherfucker's going to go and he's going to commit more crimes, and he's going to go back to jail.
The new mayor's got a big, huge obstacle. But the thing I always liked, whenever I took over a shit show of a unit or a group, no matter what you do, how small it is, it's a huge impact. So this new mayor, who obviously was a former captain in the NYPD, is already today. He just made a statement to BLM saying, "You better get ready to start rioting or doing whatever you think you're going to do, because we're not going to allow shootings to continue, and we're not going to allow crime to continue." Whether or not he backs that up, we'll see.
Right? He talks a good game. Just wait to see what happens. Just wait.
I wish him a lot of luck.
Just wait to see what the upper executive board. You know where I'm going with this. Yep. You know.
I like that. I like that.
There's not going to be a lot of qualified people in positions that, just because certain reasons they're there, certain contacts, certain friends.
Yep. I like how Shea is slowly growing a pair of balls now that he put his paperwork in to leave. He's like,
because he knows he's done.
Oh, he put his papers in last week.
Done.
So he's
done. Tucker knows he's done. They're going to be, trust me, they're going to be fucking something. They're going to be something.
Well, I think that's going to be for the next episode. We're going to talk about, I think it's going to be after the holiday. So, everybody, we wish you a Merry Christmas. I told Mike this was going to be short, but it turned out to be just a regular, normal episode.
Yeah, we get to talking, buddy.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody, if you're looking for a good holiday gift, I know of some books that might be good for you to
really do tell, because I always like a good book, especially good books with great forwards.
Oh, Police Mental Barricade. It's my first book. Probably my best forwards too. Ernie and Joe wrote a forward on there. Dark Side of the Blue Line. That was another really good one. That was Logan. Logan did such a good forward. And then I wrote a book about what to expect when expecting a law enforcement promotional process.
I hope your really dog is eating putting another hole in your couch.
I think that was all the books that I had. No, the last one was Lost Between Two Worlds. Logan actually wrote the last chapter in that book, which was awesome. Other than that, there wasn't really anything fantastic about that last book.
Such a dick. Such a dick.
Oh, that's right. You wrote a forward for it.
Such a dick.
So you could get those books on Amazon, folks. One of them is actually a #1 new release and on the bestseller list, which is awesome.
Man, that's pretty fucking cool, right?
I know. It's weird. It's just really weird. Somebody from another show was talking to me and was like, what is it? How does it feel? And I said, I didn't write them to be bestsellers, and when it's a bestseller, it's not like a Stephen King fucking novel. Like I don't get a check for $20,000 every month.
What's your plans? You gonna write some?
Well, I got the three
trilogy.
I got the trilogy. So what I did was I took the first 3 books and I mixed them together into one big book.
Yes, I think everybody knows that's called a trilogy.
Yeah, but what's cool about it is, like, it's a big fucking book. Like, when it came in, this is the book, right? So I try and make the books kind of small so that you can read them in one sitting. So usually they're like this. See that? Look at this fucking thing. By the way, I love this cover. Love this cover. Love it. But what's awesome about the trilogy is if you want to read all 3 books in one, it's in Crossing the Blue Line, the trilogy. You can get them. The hard covers are coming in soon. And then the new book, which is the one that Mike wrote the forward, that's what the cover looks like. Another beautiful cover. I really like this a lot. And Nicole's book actually should be coming out this weekend, I think. Bill Young, who we've had on the show, is writing the foreword for her book. Her book is called Two Sides to Every Line. She asked me to write the last chapter in that book. It should be coming out. I strongly urge anybody that listens to this show for you to buy it for your spouse. It is a very, very in-depth look into what it's like to be a spouse through law enforcement career. And Nicole has two sides because she was a sheriff's deputy and she was a spouse of a law enforcement officer. So, next episode, we're going to have her on because she has been chomping at the bit to come on the show because some shit has happened at her former agency, and she's just dying to talk about it because she's just so aggravated. I told her, I was like, it doesn't matter whether or not you're qualified or not for a promotion. It's how good those calluses on your knees are.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting to before.
Yep,
you're going to see
it doesn't
a lot
matter.
of people in high positions.
Yep,
that drink the juice, and
she
don't
was
fucking...
livid. She watched a sergeant of hers who was a fucking disaster barely make it out of being a sergeant, just got promoted to lieutenant in less than a year. And she talks about this person in her book, which is what not to do when somebody's going through some mental struggles. And she did a job you and I would never in a million years do, which would be in a jail.
With
and
savages.
She worked in the male housing unit, and a lot of times in the mental health housing unit, where these people are really fucking out of their mind. So I give her major props because I would never be able to do that. But it came at a cost because it really destroyed her mental health, especially while I was leaving the profession and how I was leaving the profession. A lot of things that I did not know that she was thinking and feeling. So when I read her book, I was it hit home, definitely hit home. So look out for that. That'll be out soon. And we're going to do a promotion with that too, where we're going to give out copies of that. So as always, you can reach me at nick@rollcallroom.com, mike@rollcallroom.com. Mike, any parting ways?
Nope. Just
all
safe.
Right, great.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Fantastic. All right, folks, be safe. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Is Hanukkah over?
I don't know.
Okay. And if just keep an eye out for our our stock option with this company that we're going to start, Equestrian Taser. I think we're onto something. I'm going to talk to Jeff. Let's talk to Jeff and see if maybe we can do something. All right.
We got to get him. He's got to be, his fiance has got to be like, director.
I think we should tase a horse to show how powerful our taser is.
All right. Now here's a question.
I think PETA would have a problem with that.
Okay. So what if you dress up? What if you and I dress up as a horse and they tase us?
Let Jeff tase us?
Yeah.
Who's the front and who's the back?
Have you been tased before?
Multiple times.
Yeah. So, okay. So we both know how it feels.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of bigger than I am, so I should be the front. You should be the back.
All right. Whatever.
Right. And the right way, being a former taser instructor, is you should be tased in the most medius part. So is the back. Thank you, Mike, for following.
Your head.
Thank you, Mike. All right, folks. Be safe. Have a great night.
Gee, I am very tired.
How tired are you?
Very tired. I've been working a lot of overtime, and it is making me very tired.
You, my friend, need some sleep.
No, I will sleep when I'm dead. What I need is a good cup of freshly roasted gourmet coffee.
Freshly roasted gourmet coffee, you say?
Yes. Do you know where I could get a cup of freshly roasted gourmet coffee?
I do.
Where?
The Roll Call Room Cafe.
The Roll Call Room Cafe?
The Roll Call Room Cafe. It's located at 17229 Wayside Drive in Dumfries, Virginia. The Roll Call Room Cafe uses only the finest premium gourmet beans, and unlike national chains, the Roll Call Room Cafe imports, roasts, grinds, and packages their coffee on site.
Sounds delicious, Roland.
It is.
But Roland, I'm in Nebraska.
No problem there. You can order their coffee online at www.rollcallroomcafe.com.
Rollcallroomcafe.com?
Rollcallroomcafe.com.